It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to.
Who? The nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you. Always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bro.
Greetings and welcome to the John Wick Minute, show where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate John Wick one TikToking minute at a time. Samuel.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Steven.
And today we are going to be discussing Minute 6. Minute 6 begins with the end of the funeral.
We're on minute 7.
Minute 7.
But that's okay. You're right.
We did 5 to 6.
You're right
And now
where
we're
it
doing
starts.
6 to 7.
Yeah, you got confused. 5 to 6 is the 6th minute. It's okay. Everyone gets confused. We had this discussion right before we
You're right.
recorded, actually.
I always mess this up.
That's
We're
okay.
discussing minute
You're right about
7,
where it starts.
which minute 7 runs from. I'm actually doing this from memory because I watched to my house and I actually don't remember how it ends. Wait, no, it ends with the delivery, right? So minute 6 starts with the end of the funeral.
Minute 7.
Minute 7 starts with the end of the funeral. Professional, slow down, and it ends with John Wick receiving the delivery of the
With him opening the letter is what
kennel,
ends.
and then opening said letter. So opening the letter.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we see Keanu Reeves at his best, not dialoguing.
You say
But
that like he can't act, but he cries quite well.
That's
I
the
know.
end of the minute.
I know. What
It's
did
the
I
end of the
literally
minute.
just say?
Yeah, that's the end
Start
of
at
the
the
minute,
beginning
though.
of the minute.
I'm
Number
just saying
one
though that
thing.
we see him at his best here in this minute.
That's true.
Number one thing I noticed, because it starts with at the wake, right? At his
Yes.
house. It's golden. It's no longer gray.
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Anytime
Which is
there's
interesting.
remembrance of the wife,
Yeah.
it seems to be gold. And not in the hospital, right? Blue, gray, whatever. But yep,
Or the
that
graveside.
wake.
It's happy remembrance is what it's tied to. Because
all remembrance of hers is happy to him, though. In like,
except at the hospital
Except
and the
the hospital.
graveside.
but he's not remembering her at the hospital. He's with her at the hospital
Okay.
while she's
let's talk
dying.
about the graveside.
So in the graveside is the funeral. That's not supposed to be remembrance. But when he's watching the video, right? He's dying, but he's remembering their time together at the
Crap,
beginning.
who's
of
that
the
we just
movie.
buried?
Wait. So but the dog thing happens after the funeral, like the same day after the funeral. So it
Right,
can't
and it's
be
warm.
Right, it's warm, but saying that it's not remembrance, even though it's the same day. I'm
No,
a
the dog
little
is
confused.
remembrance.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're saying the funeral's not remembrance, but the dog is.
Oh well,
I'm
what I'm
saying
saying,
it's
the funeral's a
specifically
different
tied
type
to
of
the-
remembrance.
Right, that's my point. It's happy remembrance versus
Sure. I
Okay,
mean, like
now I
anytime
gotcha.
he's reflecting back, I don't count the funeral as like a remembrance thing. This is a finalizing. It's the same as the hospital scene, as I interpret it. There, it's the same as the hospital scene. It's he's in her presence, her actual presence, right? Even though it's at the grave, he's in her actual presence. But when he's not in her presence, he's remembering her when he's watching the video, when he's got the puppy and all that stuff, right? It's mental remembrance, not she's not around, but he's remembering her. The wake at his house, right? That's the more
Okay, so here's where I'm not seeing how it works because we've established this whole movie as a flashback, and these are flashbacks within a flashback.
okay, but
Or
it's
no,
like
the
when you
other
speak,
golden moments were flashbacks within a flashback, right? Whereas this is prime.
so it's like when you're telling a
timeline
past.
flashback now.
It's like when you're telling a past time
Gosh.
event in present tense, because you're doing it narratively or something like that. It's not like
Right, but
it's-
that's what I'm saying. The
right.
dog and the funeral are the same timeline or tense. whereas the
Okay, this
happy
needs
memories.
in the comments. This needs settled in the comments because
Well, hold
I'm
on.
saying
I want to
the
explain
funeral
my whole
is the
thing
same
here.
as the hospital. Everything else
Correct.
is
But I'm saying the dog is the same as the funeral, except it's happy. Whereas the other memories, like the one where he's at the restaurant or the one where they're on the bridge walkway, those
the color
are.
scheming says that you're wrong.
No. That's my whole point. This is the point I'm getting at. He is remembering the happy times with his wife on the phone, the anniversary dinner, the
Yeah.
bridge. Hold on. And that is all past tense, but he was present with her. Hospital, bed, and funeral, also past tense because it's all a flashback, but sad. The dog is in the same tense, but happy because it's now the present of the flashback, just like the funeral is.
Right, but my point is that it's remembrance of his wife.
I think the
It's
listeners
any
clocked out about 5 minutes ago. Just so we know.
Remembrance of his wife in the happy is. I understand what you're saying, but that's not what they're
Are
doing.
you guys even
in the scheming.
disagreeing? I'm not.
I agree.
I
It's
stopped
remembrance
listening
of his
too.
wife. I'm just saying that it's still the same timeline of flashbacks, unlike the previous ones. My point is we are now in the present tense, but happy versus past tense happy.
It's irrelevant.
Sure.
It's irrelevant.
It's just a thing I was noting because this
So there's a
is
bunch
the
of people at
only-
this wake.
This is the only
Doing-
bright spot. This matters because it is the only bright spot in the present because the next minute it's back to gray.
Nobody cares.
Sure. All right. So anyway, there's a bunch of people at this wake. A bunch of people at the wake. Do we think they're John's friends or Helen's friends? If they're John's friends, is this just a room full of assassins?
It's definitely
Like at a wake?
It's a mixture because as we see again later. Now, when you're watching it for the first time, you wouldn't know this, but you see later the cops are in on it. So he obviously has friends.
right, but it's not that they're it's not that they're friends. I've always seen it as more of a professional courtesy.
Yeah, they might be nice enough to come to his wife's funeral. I mean, wake. Marcus isn't at the wake. Winston isn't at the wake.
That we know of.
Right, so Helen's
That we
friends.
Oh, blurry background.
Right.
So it's Helen's friends.
Sure.
His life by nature is not one of. Again, his closest friend Marcus is still friend ? Like
Yeah.
that's the, he doesn't have friends in his profession. At least not ones that you can.
Not ones you see
Again,
in
that's
this
why I said
movie.
professional courtesies. That's his life is full of professional courtesies. That's what it is.
All right. Well, I only have one actual note thing. Something I noticed. Did anyone see the coffee table book?
I
There's
looked
a
at it, but I
book-
couldn't read what it said.
So there's a book on the coffee table. It says Alvaro Siza. I don't know. It's a Portuguese architect. So I guess it's one of those coffee table books that has art in it for like an art book. So I guess John has a thing, or Helen had a thing for architecture. I don't know. Looking at their house, you know, that would make sense. They have a very complex, modern looking architecture. But yeah.
Did you see if the house looks like that person's style? I would have
No,
looked
I
up
did
that
not. That would be interesting though. But no, I didn't.
book. Should look that up.
Maybe for tomorrow.
Well, we bored people enough with this minute.
But
It
we
ends
didn't have the
happily.
letter.
It ends happily. No, it doesn't. It ends with him opening the letter, but he doesn't read it yet. And actually, he's just halfway got it open because he's trembling,
Right.
going very slowly.
But he gets a delivery. Okay, so question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truck pulls up.
Yes.
Van pulls up.
Yes.
And they are dropping off a kennel. You didn't order this off Amazon. Who's sending you? Listen, you're an assassin, right?
That's fair.
You shouldn't open surprise packages.
But it's a kennel with a puppy. It's not like he can't see
And a
what's
letter.
in it.
What more perfect of a booby trap? It's a letter laced with a bomb or something, and it comes with a puppy. That seems to me like that'd be a great assassin plot.
But but everything
I
we
can
know
get
about
John Wick.
Yes, in the real world, it could be arsenic. However, in this alternate universes, these assassins tend to like people to know that they're the ones that did it.
Yeah.
I'd like to get up close and personal.
Terrible.
True. There's again a professional. courtesy.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's right. Okay.
No
Yeah,
one's
in the
trying to
real
kill him.
world, you're not wrong. Like, it's a little
Yeah,
sus.
like, you want to kill Wick? Don't let him know you're coming. Like, that's step number one. The reason he wins is because everybody tells him they're going to come after him.
Even when he tells them he's coming after them, he wins.
Did anyone see what's on the card? The outside?
It's a symbol,
Oh,
and
wax
I
seal?
couldn't
A
make
daisy.
it out. Yeah. Oh, it is
It's
a
a
daisy.
daisy.
Okay, that makes
Yep.
sense.
So
I
the
was like,
coffee
it looks
pot,
like a flower.
The bracelet, the
I
But
need to
but we can't
pay more
spoil that
attention.
because we don't know what it is yet. We still haven't
card.
figured out. No. I mean,
What?
I didn't
Really, a
want you to go
daisy?
farther with the daisy.
Oh no, I'm not going farther.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Further.
He doesn't want you to
further.
go farther, but he'll
Yes.
just tell everybody that
That Willem Dafoe dies.
Marcus gets it. Yeah, so spoilers for me, but not for thee.
Exactly.
guess.
Well, I learned my lesson. You guys yelled at me, so
That's fair.
Oh, hardly.
Well,
I think
yelled
that
more
probably-
about color grading than anything.
Yeah, well, it's
important to this
the
movie.
storytelling.
Yeah, okay.
it is.
All right.
We've been harping on the color grading since the intro. It matters.
That's true. That's
Okay.
true. All right.
But yes, that is the rest, all of it for this minute.
Just yeah. Yep.
All right.
I think that's
I'll do a shameless plug for myself, and then we can do John Wick plugs. I am also one of the two hosts of the King Kong Minute. We cover Peter Jackson's King Kong like this, format 1 minute at a time. Sam has guested. Seth will be guesting on a future week. Sam actually guested for 2 weeks because
I did.
we didn't have another guest, and he's like, "This was fun," and he accidentally wrote notes for the next week. And so we're like, well, you have
Yes,
notes.
it's
Let's
true.
put them to use. So Sam was on 2 weeks, and Seth will be on later. So check out King Kong Minute. I'm there with my co-host Terry. Yeah, we're on all
I got the
podcasts.
Indiana
We're not on
Jones
YouTube.
part.
What? Oh, you did.
I got the Indiana Jones part.
Sure. We are not on YouTube though, so we're just on podcasting platforms.
But we are on YouTube. John Wick Minute YouTube channel. You should check it out. You should also check out all of the other places you can listen to it: Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever podcast platform you like. We're
All
there.
the things.
All the things. And what's the t-shirt store?
It's just TeePublic John Wick Minute. The link should be somewhere because if you go to TeePublic and you just search John Wick Minute, it doesn't show up. But if you click on a link, it'll show up. So there you go.
Cool.
Are we
Something
gonna
with our
start a
algorithm.
Patreon for like bonus
I
content?
wasn't
or
planning on
something?
it. That
We
sounds
should at some point, but not yet.
maybe. We'll
Maybe
Is there
see.
like a
for the
50
second
cent,
movie.
a 50-cent subscription option? Is that?
So Seth cut this, but I have a Patreon for King Kong. No one has subscribed. I also have a TeePublic. No one's bought anything.
Yeah, we
I have
need to
not
get
made a
popular
cent off of
first.
it.
We need to
Yeah,
get popular first.
It's timing.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Okay, well, I think that wraps it up. And Sam, you let us in, so you could take us out.
Awesome. Cool. We're gonna go now. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll yeah,
Be
the
seeing
things.
you.
And BC, that's another minute thing that we can't do actually. That would not work.
No.
Anyway, well, join us next time for a John Wick minute.
Wick minute.
How do you
for
end
a
these
John
things?
Wick Minute.
Steve didn't even try.
For a John
I
Wick
know,
Minute.
It's on, but whatever.
I need a better
So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks. We out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized. We out here making posters and we ain't got nothing to hide. We move forward like soldiers.